Mas eu gosto, Zé. Não, tem que away. Only people of a certain age will even know this Milli Vanilli stuff. Hello, everyone. Are we live? Are we live? Live on Facebook and YouTube. Hello, everyone. Wow, thank you all for joining. I already see a bunch of you here waiting. Thank you. Thank you. And for those of you on TikTok, we've already been live several times today. So reintroduce yourself if you want to. But if you're on Facebook and YouTube, welcome to our weekly Friday live. I'm Ify, the marriage green card lawyer. And today we have a very interesting topic. So thank you for joining. Before we get into the topic, as usual, I would like to know where everyone is watching from. So let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I want to see if any of you guys live near me. Maybe we can hang out. Okay. Cheers. We help clients all over the USA, though. So location is not an issue with us. We help clients file their permanent residency green card, regardless of where you live, as long as you're married to a U.S. citizen or you have another form of relief to get a green card through family, because there are different family members that can file for you. If you keep following us every week, we get to talk about the different ways to get a green card so you can know which one applies for you. Hello, Jamsey from Ghana, from Kenya. Wow. Okay. Niger to the world. We're in here doing this. All right. Thank you guys very much for joining. Make sure you share this live with your friends so that we can get more people out here getting this information so we can all feel empowered to get our permanent residency green card. If you're living in the U.S., you know that this is a very important document for you. Definitely need your permanent residency green card to be able to live in the USA, work here, travel outside, and come back. Okay, so you need that. If you came in on a non-immigrant visa, that's always temporary. They usually give you like 6 months stay. If it's a student visa, they give you till the duration of your studies and all that. So, but with a green card, you can stay permanently, okay, forever until you become a U.S. citizen. So today, this topic is important because we're talking about the potential issues for people who are applying for a green card, potential issues you could face, okay, that could cause a denial of your application. All right, so bring out your pen and paper or save this post, share with your friends. Just make sure you're paying attention. If you're applying for your permanent residency green card, especially through marriage, just make sure that you follow some of these guidelines. If you haven't submitted your application yet, make sure that you follow some of the tips that we're sharing today so that you can avoid these issues and make sure that your green card has a better chance of approval. All right. Okay, we can't always guarantee approval just because it's always being approved by the USCIS, not us. Okay, so you go to an attorney with experience to help you reduce the stress of going through the process, first of all, and then also dealing with the complications, because there are complications, and we're going to get into some of them today. So if it sounds familiar to you, if any of those complications, maybe you're not sure in your own case, reach out to us. My contact information is on the screen. As you can see, you can call us or text us so we can find out if there's a solution for you to find your freedom in the USA. All right? Okay. What's my tea? Let's get into the potential issues today. I'm going to just talk about 3 potential issues. I'm sure there are multiple issues out there that could affect you, but these 3 main issues are very common with the clients that we work with, and I see it in our Facebook group. People are always asking questions around these things. So these are the most common issues that we see with green card denials. So if you're in that process, pay attention, okay? Very important. So let's go into number one. The number one issue. This one is number one because it's like the simplest or easiest thing, it seems, but it can really lead to a denial, okay? So incomplete or incorrect application. What does that mean? There's so many, that means so many different things. So incomplete means, are you missing like a form? For example, if you file an I-485 without an I-130, an approved I-130, the I-485 may get denied. And I've seen that happen before because people think that once they get married, that's automatic for them to just adjust their status, okay? They don't understand the process of filing the petition, waiting for the approval, or potentially filing both of them together. They don't understand that. So if you file an incomplete application, it's going to get denied automatically. They don't even have to tell you anything. They just be like, you don't qualify for this I-485 because you didn't file the I-130. There's no relationship. There's no petitioner, okay? Sometimes I get questions from people like, how do I get a green card? A family, I just got one on the live earlier, a family of 4, and we just want to immigrate to the U.S. So I'm like, you need to have, the first thing you need to think about is, do I have a petitioner? Is it a family member or an employer? So you can't just immigrate to the U.S. without a basis, all right? So that's number one reason. So that's incomplete application. So what about incorrect application? Sometimes you don't check off the correct answers on your application, and they will just say this was marked. So because for us, rule of thumb, what we do, if there's a space in the application, we just put NA if we know there's nothing going to be there. So that way we don't get any returned form saying it's incomplete, okay? So make sure you have the correct types of forms, the correct addition, okay? Because that's another thing that we see happening. They change the additions of each form at different random times, all right? If you're not an immigration lawyer or you're not checking the USCIS website often, you may not realize that the time that you printed that form, okay, months ago, they've already changed it. So maybe you printed it out, you hand filled it, which you can do, that's fine. And then months later, you just said, oh, I'm done, I put it in the mail, and you send it out. Next thing, you just gets automatic denial. It could be rejected or just denied, okay? Because this stuff is discretionary, depending on who you meet. They could just, because in the guidelines, there are different things that they could just automatically deny for. Okay, so if you just have that, and it'll just be like, this is done, goodbye. And then you have to start over and spend that money again. So definitely avoid any incomplete or incorrect forms in your application so you can get a chance to apply for this benefit, okay? Another major thing with an incomplete application is having insufficient evidence to support the relationship or to meet the income requirement, all right? So if you follow me on my page, you already know I talk about the affidavit of support, the financial affidavit of support for every family-based application, right? Let me know in the comments if you're following my page. If you're not following my page, is the Marriage Green Card Lawyer on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So type it out right now. Follow me, share with your friends, because this information is definitely important to help those who are applying for their green card so they can know exactly what they need to be looking out for to avoid denials, okay? So follow me at the Marriage Green Card Lawyer. Let's do it right now while we're talking, okay? So, because this part right here, having insufficient evidence is really one, it's a kicker, like, because some people really think they have enough evidence and because they submitted a bunch of papers, right? But what are those papers about? Is it the correct evidence to show the correct proof that is required for a family-based green card, okay? Sending a whole bunch of papers is not the point. That's not whether it's enough evidence, okay? It's whether you have strong evidence to show that you're commingled with your partner, if it's a marriage, if it's a parent, to show that you're even in the parent's life, or the parents is in your life, or you actually share mother-daughter relationship. Okay, one way to do it is obviously your birth certificate, right? But you still need to show photographs. Okay, photographs being, in my opinion, one of the strongest forms of showing commingled life, because you can show pictures from different times of your life, and it's accessible to like almost everyone. Because I mean, if you have a phone that has a camera, you can get photos. It may not be like the best pictures or whatever, but you can get pictures. Okay, that's the most powerful evidence, and also the most, like, the easiest to get. So if you can get, you know, photographs the right amount, or the right uh, scenarios or events, because it's not just photos in one place with like just you and your spouse in one place. Okay, that's not the type of evidence that's going to work. So with this particular point here, it's good to note that you need quality evidence to support that relationship. And when it comes to the income, if your spouse is not earning enough, you need to find a joint sponsor, or find assets, or figure out a way to meet that requirement. Because in 2023, the I mean, the requirement is even that much important, just because of the public charge rule. Okay, we'll talk about that in a different video, but just make sure you meet the income requirements, and you show evidence of that. Okay. So I see a bunch of questions coming in, and I thank you guys for asking questions. That means you're listening and you're participating. So I'm going to get to the questions. I just want to run through the points, because I get these questions all the time, and it's great to just put it out here on these lives. Since you guys are participating, you get to interact with us and get clarity right away. So thank you for participating. Let's get to the next point. Okay, the next thing that you have to avoid, a potential issue that could lead to a denial of a green card. Okay. All right. So the second thing on my list here is national security concerns. Okay. I don't really talk about this one as much on my page, but this is a real issue that has actually led to denials in some cases. Okay. In some cases where there was just not a clear explanation, especially of the affiliations and the associations or clubs that people are, joining. All right. If you're familiar with the I-485 form, if you're currently applying for your green card and you've looked on the USCIS websites and at any of the forms, there are some questions there that ask you if you are actually in any associations or clubs or things like that. Because the aim of that question is to figure out if you're in any type of group that is opposing the U.S. government and U.S. national security, essentially. So if you answer yes to some of those and you declare those, which you should, that could lead to a denial of your green card, except there's a reason. Maybe it's something that you're no longer affiliated with, or there's just a confusion. Maybe it's just not even that type of club or society or whatever, like, or something like that. So you have to have a reason, have to file waivers, and be able to reply to a denial in that type of situation. But otherwise, it is basically, a straightforward denial. If there's any national security concern, they won't even just be like, no. Okay? Because they do the background checks. That's why you do biometrics, to do your fingerprinting, so you can basically get this stuff, so they can know who you are before you get your green card. All right? So what's the next thing? Do we have a 2A? Oh, yes. So as part of the national security stuff, I decided to talk about other inadmissibilities, because it's a similar effect if they do a background check and find out that you have other inadmissibilities other than being associated with some sort of gang or group of society or something like that. If basically there's indication that you either misrepresented on your visa application, when they do their investigation, or that you had some sort of criminal background or something that makes you inadmissible, at that point in time, they could also deny your green card right away. Okay. So if you have a waiver, a reason to waive your inadmissibility, this would be a great time to file that. Okay. We'll talk about waivers of inadmissibility on this channel, on Facebook and YouTube. So make sure you follow us for weekly updates and weekly tips and resources that we share on this page. Okay. We also have a giveaway going on right now. I'm sure the link is in the description. You can check it out to join the live giveaway for those people who get to stay with us on these lives and participate. We want to reward you by giving you an opportunity to get some free stuff from us, either a consultation or some resources, books or something. So just make sure you sign up if you're watching right now and you're in the live. Just check the description for that link. And then we can, or let me know in the comments if you want it, and we can DM it to you or just reply the comment. Okay. All right. So inadmissibilities. A green card could be denied if you, even though you're married to a U.S. citizen, your mom is a U.S. citizen, your brother is a U.S. citizen, and you qualify, right, as a petitioner, you have a qualified relative. If you've misrepresented, you committed a crime or something, and that thing comes out on your fingerprinting, you're done. Okay. They'll be like, denied, unless you can come with that waiver. Okay. So make sure you're proactive and you're already thinking about the waiver. If you know, sometimes people don't know because it takes several years, maybe something you did like 20 years ago. And now you're applying for a green card and you're like, oh, I didn't know. So if you find out at the interview, sometimes that's when people find out. Or if you get a lawyer, if you come with us, we typically will do a background check just to check out your immigration history to see what's going on there in case of something you may have forgotten, so that you don't get automatically denied and then start having to do an appeal and all of that. So basically, those are some of the issues. I think I have one final point to discuss, and then after that, we're going to start answering questions. I see a whole bunch of questions coming in from you guys. Thank you again for participating and sharing. So if you are applying for your green card through family, even employment at this point, because this particular point is very important to your green card admissibility. Okay, it's an inadmissibility, right? But it's separate. I put it separate because it's one that covers basically just every green card. You understand? Like, it's not something that you can actually easily waive, because with this particular issue, the third concern is your health grounds, being denied on health related issues. Okay. And the biggest one being not taking the vaccines, not taking the correct vaccines for the green card process. So this covers, like I said, every green card application, because in fact, anyone who's going to be admitted into the USA needs to meet those health requirements. Okay. So if you don't meet the health requirements, maybe you have some other, type of disease going on, like you have, they do a TB test, they do other types of tests, even mental health tests. Okay, there are several tests that go into the medical exam just to see if you're fit to be a member of the U.S. society. And like I said, it's applicable to basically every immigrant. But if there are some waivers available, it will be a religious waiver, or if it's a type of a mental health type of inadmissibility or something, you have to show any rehabilitation, how you're doing better, your treatments and all of that to get a waiver. So this one's very tricky because it's not like the misrep or the criminal type of thing. It's, just something that, if you're not taking the vaccine, like what's the option? Are you going to, because some people just don't want to take like the COVID vaccine, for example. They're just like, oh, I don't want to take COVID vaccine, but they've been taking vaccines all their lives. Now they just don't want to take COVID. So at that point, it's a stalemate. So it's like, okay, so that means you don't want to be a permanent resident then. And then you can be like, okay, fine. Or if you have a waiver, it has to be based on your religious beliefs. Otherwise, So think about these things. If you're trying to become a permanent resident, consider all these things I just mentioned, because it's very important to note, so you don't spend time going through the process and then you end up getting denied just like that. So make sure you contact an experienced immigration attorney. Like I said in the beginning of the live, we help clients all over the USA with this process. We've been helping, last year we helped over 500 clients with either a consultation or getting their green card or work authorization. We also had one of our clients get her VAWA approval last year. That was just the quickest approval, because she really, in her case, was very important that she needed to leave that abusive marriage. So we help clients all over the USA find their freedom in these ways, and we can help you. So if you're watching this right now and you are applying for your marriage-based green card, or just you want to know your options to get a green card, contact us. Link is in the bio. If you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, my number is on the screen. Okay. So thank you very much for participating. And like I said, join in on the giveaway. I'm excited to see some of the winners, so maybe we can get to talk. I really enjoy talking to many of you, and some of you watching me right now probably already talked to me before in a consultation or something. So thank you again for the support and being here. So now it's time for us to get into the juicy part of the live, okay? The part where I start answering your questions. All right, let me see. There was some music playing earlier. If you've been on TikTok with me, I've been coming on live because I've been working today before this live. So decided to just, do some casual TikToks. Yeah, so we've been chilling and stuff. So now that you guys are here, we're gonna include you in our vibes, and I'm gonna get to answer all these questions I see right here. So let's get into it. It's about almost 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. We have a few minutes to just get through these questions. Thank you so much for the hearts and the likes and the shares. Yeah, it means a lot to this channel and to me as well, because this is the passion. This is where we get to help people, get answers. So let's get to the first question for the day. So who do we have? Okay. We have Kang the double OQ. Y'all and your very interesting names on TikTok. You're saying, how long should you be dating before you file for the visa? So I'm guessing you're asking about a fiance visa because you're not married, you're dating. So when it comes to a fiance visa, the main criteria is that you've met the person at least one time within the last 2 years before you actually file. Okay, so it's not really a question about how long, it's whether the relationship is real, and you have evidence of meeting one another. That's the evidence. So if it's only been a 3-month relationship, do you know that you're going to get married? Is it just, are you engaged? Like, what's the situation? Because a fiance visa is for you to come into the US and get married within 90 days. So except you want to apply and then, because it takes like about a year before you start seeing results, right? So maybe you apply and then you still have a year to date and then maybe travel and meet one another and all that stuff. Maybe that'll work for you, but I mean, just make sure you've met one another. You truly want to build a future together, because if you don't, the evidence will tell. Like, you can't really, I mean, it's just all there. Okay. Hope that answers your question. And if you're still here, let me know if you have any follow-ups. Give me a thumbs up if that answers your questions, if you're still watching. And you can click in the link or call me if you need more clarity. Okay. All right. Who's next? Okay, my name is Karia, now in the USA. Is it possible to change interview green card or change locations? I'm trying to change still. KCC says it's possible to change. I'm having a hard time really understand the full question, but if you're asking about changing your interview location, that's a possibility. If you've moved, you need to update the USCIS about your location, and they will make your interview to be in the nearest office of where you are now. So that's why it's important to always update your address. Okay? So you can change your interview location. You came in on a visitor's visa. I'm not sure how that's relevant to this. If you apply for a green card through marriage, right, and you're already in the process, then just go with updating your address and all of that. Okay, but if I didn't answer your questions, just ask another one and give me a thumbs up. If I answered your questions correctly, make sure you participate in our live raffle. Okay, all right. Who's next? Next is Mary Vega from TikTok. Mary Vega, why does that name sound familiar? Okay. Hi, Mary. Thank you for watching. How long is it usually taking to get the biometrics for I-485 and I-765? Okay. Well, Mary, that question really just depends on how long it takes for you to get your receipt notice. And then, because after your receipt notice, then shortly after you get your biometrics. So sometimes your receipt notice can take weeks to like even months. I've waited for 3 months for a receipt notice before, and that was like really scary for everybody, because like what's going on? Usually it's like 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, so but in some cases, especially VAWA cases, it could take really long, and then after that you get your biometrics maybe like a few days later. So in all, let's just say in the first 3 months, okay, is when you could potentially do your biometrics if it was a regular marriage-based green card. Okay, I don't know if that answers that question clearly, but really when it comes to timeline and immigration is just really dependent on your case, your location. There's so many factors. Okay, some people, the biometrics is even waived depending on if you've applied for something before. So just all depends. Okay. All right, who's next? Give me a thumbs up if I answered your question correctly, because I want to make sure you guys are benefiting from this time that we have together. And for those of you who want a more personal one-on-one time, my link is always available to book a time with me. Okay, so let's make sure that you're staying until the end to get your answers to as we go through them in the live. Okay, all right. So Emmanuel from TikTok, thank you for watching. Emmanuel says, please, after K1 is approved, how long does it take for MVC to process? Okay, so after the I-29F, the step 1 is approved, you're asking about the next step, right? So for those of you who don't know, when it comes to getting your fiance visa or spousal visa, your spouse is outside the USA, it's going to be a 2-step process. Okay, you have to do the petition in the US. When that's approved, then you go to the country and do your visa process. So Emmanuel, what country are you from? If you're still watching, let us know. But basically, if it's already in the MVC right now, we can expect, I would say, at least 6 months for the whole thing, because you would apply, fill out the forms on the CAC website, excuse me, and then after that, you will then upload your documents, do your police clearance and all that, and then once that's done, you will wait to be documentarily qualified and be called for an interview. So all that process could take about 6 months, depending on if there's a backlog. For immigrant visas, I believe is not as long as non-immigrant visas, and a fiance visa is a non-immigrant visa. So I'm not really sure how long it'll take. Also, depending on what country you're at. I don't know if you're Ghanaian. I have a feeling you might be from Ghana, but let us know where you're from, and then we can go from there. Okay. All right. So who's next? Let's see. Can I get an employment-based green card even if I overstayed? Halo, Camo, Halo from TikTok. Well, if you overstay, there are definitely consequences for that. One of them being the 3 or 10-year ban from coming to the USA, unless you file a waiver of inadmissibility. Okay. And from what I do now, which is family-based immigration, I know that spouse of a U.S. citizen was overstayed can still apply for a green card because of that relationship. Okay, but when it comes to employment, that relationship is not sufficient to do that waiver, in my understanding right now. Okay, so but you need to speak with an employment immigration lawyer, someone who does that primarily. You can book a consultation with us, and we can give you some referrals to help you with that. But with employment base, you most likely need to be in status or do a consular processing. I don't think they're going to let you adjust status from having violated your previous visa, to now getting a work visa. I mean, that's just generally how it works. So I'm just telling you from that general standpoint. But if you have a situation whereby maybe you have a job lined up or something like that, just reach out to us. We have some resources for you, but we primarily will help with family-based immigration, meaning parents, children, spouse, all that type of stuff. Okay. Thank you for your question and for watching. Like I said, follow this page, this channel, and follow us for more tips, especially the weekly lives, so you can get answers to your questions. All right. Give me a thumbs up. Am I seeing some thumbs up? I see some thumbs up. Thank you very much on TikTok. So I answered your question. If I'm answering your question, let me see a thumbs up. If you feel like you need a personal time, like I said, just text us, reach out by phone, and you'll get some clarity. All right. All right. Who's next after Camo? Camo, we have Jeffrey. Jeffrey, let's see. Thank you for your question. You're on YouTube. Please, with my biometric appointment, notice is not in, and I have requested for another one, but still not in. What do I do? What do you mean requested for another one? So, because if you get your receipt notice, all you have to do is wait for the biometrics notice. Except you moved. Did you update your address? Is there an issue there? Is it like they sent it and it got returned and type of thing, or what? Because, what would you be requesting for another one for? If they haven't sent it, they haven't sent it, So, but just contact USCIS. That's really all you can do at this point. If you did contact them to send you one, so just call them to see what's going on. They give you a service number or something, or maybe you just need to wait. How long ago did you file, Jeffrey? Let us know in the comments. You said the first one didn't come in, so that means it hasn't just come in yet. How long ago did you file? Like, when did you actually submit and get your receipt notice? Because, like I said, this stuff does take some time. So maybe you just need to wait. 3 months. That's still, yeah, it can take up to that time. I just said that 3 months or more, even. So maybe just chill. Yeah. Oh, what the? Hmm? So, next question, Jeffrey. Yeah, I think just chill. Yeah. And then just give them some time, and then you can give them a call again, or just call us if you need help with that call if you don't have a lawyer already. Okay. All right. Jakayla. All right. That's all right. We're done with Jeffrey. Jeffrey, at least I'm glad you were here to get your question. Thanks for the thumbs up. So give me a thumbs up if you're getting your questions answered. If you feel like you need more help, um, let's see. Give me something else in the captions or in the comments, and then we can attend to you. How can a student? This is Jakla from TikTok. How can students with K1 visa acquire citizenship? What? A student with a K1 visa. So, are you going to marry the U.S. citizen that filed for you? Are you talking about an F1 visa? Because those are different things. Let me look on the keyboard if they're close. They're not close, so I don't know what you mean. Because if you're on a K1 visa, that means you come in to the U.S., get married to a U.S. citizen relative, and you become a permanent resident, and then after that, you become a U.S. citizen. So I'm not sure. I mean, that's the route to acquire citizenship. I'm not sure what else, if you're being a student, has to do with it. But let me know if you're still here watching. Let me know more background about your question. But essentially, if you are married, you just go ahead after 3 years, get your citizenship. That's it. Okay. You apply. Obviously, you apply for your green card, right? You already applied. So, all right. So, J Cloud, let me know. Thumbs up. All right. Who's next? All right. Will studying a PhD guarantee a pathway to a green card? Mamzi from TikTok. Short answer is no, because unless either you're doing a NIW waiver, which is a national interest waiver, to just self petition for a green card, like an employment based green card. Having a PhD is just like, okay, like, what's going to be the benefit? What's your PhD in, for example? Can you tell us, Mamsie, on TikTok? Let us know what your PhD is in, so we'll see if I can come up with a potential business idea for you, because I like coming up with business ideas. So let us know. But anyway, yeah, if there's no um if there's no national interest, you'll have to either get an employer or just do the normal thing. It's not really going to set you apart. Because, I mean, these days, everybody has a PhD. People are getting degrees, just trying to make it out here. But meanwhile, anyway, different convo. Let's see the next question. Mamsie, let us know what your PhD is in. Let's give you a business idea for your national interest. My fiance has an interview soon. This is from Shauna on TikTok. Shauna, thanks for your question. How long after he gets it should we marry, and can he file for me? What? So your fiance has an interview soon, and what visa is he going to get at the interview? Is he going? Because I was thinking, why would he file for you? I was thinking you were the U.S. citizen and he was coming to the U.S. to marry you. That's what I was thinking. Because in that case, he has to get married in 90 days. But if you're saying he's doing his interview and, I don't know. I'm not sure I understand this scenario, Shauna. Can you give us more to go with? Because your fiance, yeah, I'm not sure. Tell us what's going on. Are you the U.S. citizen? Is your fiance the U.S. citizen? Because the U.S. citizen generally does not go to an interview for the I-29F. That just gets approved based on the evidence that you submit. And then after that, you move on to stage 2. So I'm not sure what interview this fiance is going for and what green card he has, except, okay, another scenario. Does he have a green card through his mom, maybe his parents? And then as a permanent resident, he's going to file for you. Because if he's married as a permanent resident, then he can file for his spouse. So I don't know. Tell us more. All right, next question. All right, new migrant here from PH. PH meaning Port Harcourt, or what's PH? I left my boyfriend there. What are the chances of getting him here fast? So are you a permanent resident? Or when you say new migrants, what does that mean? This is Air DJ or Dr. J from TikTok. If you're a new migrant, meaning like you're a permanent resident, you would have to be married to your boyfriend in order to file for him, because permanent residents can't file. They can't file fiance visas. Yeah, that's only for U.S. citizens. So if you're a new migrant, so you're a permanent resident. Okay. So if you're a permanent resident, then you need to basically get married. Okay. So that's essentially it. If you get married, then you file for him. I don't know about fast. The fastest it is a year to a year and a half. Okay, so let's just start the process. Start with step 1. If you come with us, we have a tool, a powerful tool that has helped our clients reduce their wait time drastically. So once you can cut down the time for step 1, and we can move through step 2 really quickly, you can basically do this whole thing within a whole year, okay? Or a year and a half. So that's the fastest. So I don't know what else. If your boyfriend's expecting to just come like in a few months, that's not going to work. Except he's coming on a different visa, not on this whole situation. Okay? Give me a thumbs up if you have some clarity. If you don't, reach out to us. Maybe give me, I'll think of the emoji for those of you that need more clarity, so that I can have my team reach out to you so we can help you get the resources you need. Okay? All right. Next question, or are we done? I don't know. How many more questions do we have for today? It's been a wonderful day. I feel like I've been live for even longer than now because I've been live on TikTok a lot today. Well, you guys have been great with the questions. Thank you very much for participating. And if you are just joining, I am Ify, the marriage green card lawyer. I help clients all over the USA file their marriage-based green cards, and I'm here helping clients, just answering questions and helping you make better decisions with your green card. So we'll just go through some of these questions. I see that there's a lot of questions, so I'll try to get through them quickly so that we can be out of here and start enjoying the rest of the Friday, okay? All right. All right, so next question. No employment-based questions. We can just skip that one. If you need to be in status to do employment-based. So no employment-based. Can a J1 with a 2-year residency apply for VAWA, what waiver is available without spouse? Joshua Mendoza, if you've been a victim of a crime, you may be able to file some sort of deferred action, which is what VAWA is essentially. Okay. So I'm not sure what has happened to you in this residency period. If you don't have a spouse and you think that you are a potential VAWA applicant, then maybe there's another option for you for people who are not married. Okay, so reach out to us to discuss that. Okay. Okay, so next question. Joshua, give me a thumbs up if you feel, if you got some clarity and you want to reach out. Okay. Ramona from YouTube, you say, I heard they're skipping interviews for the first green card if your evidence is enough. What are some types of evidence that are important? Ramona, this is like the best question for me today because if you've been following me on TikTok and Instagram, let me do this my screen time because they're telling me that I've been on the internet way too long today. But basically, if you're following me on the internet, you know that I always talk about bona fide relationship and how to prove it and all that. Yes, they have been skipping interviews, and if you submit enough proof of bona fide relationship, it can potentially get waived. So some of the most important ones, joint account statements, which is basically for, let me get my phone here, which is basically to show your joint assets with your spouse. If you can show that, you can basically prove those things are important. Joint assets, photographs, those will basically show that you have an intent to build a future together, and that will help you essentially, you could potentially waive your interview. So just enough of that stuff. Like bank accounts shouldn't just be, no, you have to use your account, okay, together. They have to see usage, all right? So they have to see usage in order for it to work. And then the pictures, earlier I talked about pictures being like a powerful piece of evidence because even though it's simple to achieve, it can really tell a story about, you know, your relationship. So have those things in place and you can most likely get waived, okay? Especially also, it depends on how long you've been together too. That also plays a role in whether they waive your interview or not. If you're a newlywed, it might be a little bit more difficult, but if you're married for a longer time, that also matters because you can show, I mean, length of time in itself is the commitment. So, okay. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. Ramona, give me a thumbs up on there. Okay. All right, next question. All right. Well, TikTok people, I don't know what to do about that. So I'll see you next time if it hangs up. What does this say on here? What's the question? Facebook user, can't see your name, but thank you for your question. Can you tell me what are the chances of USCIS considering a motion to reopen my case for an I-130 and I-45 after a case has been denied? Oh, so, I mean, I have had, every case I motioned to reopen was basically reopened because essentially we have enough evidence for them to reopen it, they will. So that's, I mean, it's not really, I don't know if that's the right question, the way to look at it. The chances of it being considered is really if you're able to submit evidence of whatever it is that they're asking for. Okay. And that will help you. Okay. So just reach out to us because if you do get a denial, you definitely don't try to reply on your own because there's a reason why it was denied the first time. So reach out to us to help you with that motion to reopen. Okay, that's, I mean, sometimes it could be easy, sometimes it could be complex. It just really depends because it depends on really why it was denied too. So, all right. So thanks, Facebook user and TikTok guys. You guys are amazing with the shares and the likes and everything. All right. Who's next? We'll just get through as many questions as we can. There are like so many, and you know, we just seem to. Ramona, thanks for the thumbs up. I'm glad I was able to answer your question. All right. Who else is there? Lee Ben. I don't know if I said that right. Let me know if I said that right, Lee Ben. So you said I submitted an I-130 application since September 2020, but I haven't had any feedback after acceptance. What? Dude, you haven't had, oh, you said after acceptance. So wait, you got your receipt notice, but you haven't had anything since then. Because I'm like, if you haven't had a receipt notice, but that's still long though. Reach out to us. Let's talk about that. We figured out a way to try to speed up the I-130s, especially if your spouse is outside the USA. So reach out to us. Let's talk about the options for that. It's only available if your I-130 is still pending. So let's make sure it's still pending. I'm not sure why it's pending so long. I-130 does not take 3 years. Like no family-based immigration process takes 3 years. So, all right, next question. How long is I-485 taking? It's the same thing I've said. A year to a year and a half, maximum 2 years. Okay, for that. So, yeah, I feel like that's the last question I'm seeing right now. I'm not sure if there are more questions from TikTok, but at this point, I think we've already, been through a lot of the questions. Let me know if there are more questions. If you feel like Ramona, thanks for the thumbs up again. And Jeffrey, if you feel satisfied and you feel like I answered your questions in this live, give me a thumbs up on TikTok, on YouTube. If you need more help, please text us, call us. We're available Monday through Friday, Eastern time, okay? Okay. I guess that's how I did it. Okay. Yeah, so we are available Monday through Friday. Okay, so reach out to us today, right now. We're all going to enjoy our weekend, so I hope you guys enjoy your weekend too. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thumbs up. Thank you again for joining and sharing. And like I said, every Friday we're coming live. We're coming on live. We're doing giveaways for those of you staying till the end watching. A lot of you guys really participate and really, it's amazing. Like, wow. So thank you so much. And so we want to thank you with our giveaway. So make sure you're inviting your friends as well. Some of them do include free consultations with me, not just an inquiry session, like an in-depth one-on-one discussion. So figure out. You can check out the description if you're just watching this after, when it's not live. Check the description for the links and everything so you can participate. All right. Thank you so much. For the people. Nana Kofi on TikTok says for the people. Thank you very much. This is not pre-recorded, Slick Ajay. I'm right here. So go on my YouTube and my Facebook and, join us. Okay, stop being so skeptical. Open your heart and enjoy good things. Okay, Ajay. Yeah, so I think that's it, you guys. Thank you very much, TGIF. Yeah. All right, have a great day. Anything else? Anything else, my team? Anything else to say? Thanks. Sick Ajay is because of your skepticism. That's why. Well, if there's nothing else, team, I think we're done. So, yeah. I'm just still here on TikTok. I don't know why my eyes look like extra blue right now, maybe because of this lighting. But, yeah.